right, face, palm left, march.
Mr. Moravich, do you have any solicitor announcements?
I do not.
Thank you. Ms. Burkholder, do we have any public participation on agenda items?
No, we do not.
Okay, thank you. We were in executive session prior to this to discuss, Mr. Moravich, what topic were we discussing?
Yeah,
Contracts.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was trying to figure out how to categorize it. We were discussing contracts. Thank you. It's been a long day today. Item 2.1, looking for a motion to approve the minutes of the February 2nd, 2026 school board meeting.
So move Cocker.
Thank you, Mrs. Cocker. Do we have a second? Thank you, Mr. Schneider. Any discussion? This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Committee reports, student outreach. Ms. Ding?
First off, congratulations to the 5 Wilson Band students who successfully auditioned for and was selected to the PMEA District 10 Band. They represented Wilson during rehearsals and performed in the district concert wearing their Wilson Marching Band uniforms. Congratulations as well to our swimming and diving teams for earning the title of BCIAA County Champions. And congratulations to the girls basketball team who won the 2025 to 2026 BCIAA Championship title. Their hard work and dedication throughout the season have truly paid off. We also celebrate our competition cheer team who placed 11th in the national competition at ESPN in Orlando, Florida. They advanced to the semifinals and represented Wilson on a national stage. Both West and middle school students, Southern middle school students, competed in the Berks County Math Counts competition. The West team won 3rd place and the Southern team won 4th place. Vincent D. Joseph finished 4th in the county and will continue to states in March. This past Thursday, Wilson High School Minithon hosted its annual Kids Night Out, welcoming over 100 students for the evening of games, activities, and community building. Looking ahead, the band and orchestra concert will take place tomorrow at 6 p.m. at the West Middle School Auditorium. Additionally, Minithon's night of event and community hours will be held on February 27th beginning at 6 p.m. in the Upper House Gym. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ding. Mr. Hart, do you have an Operations Committee report?
I do. The Operations Committee met on February 12th, and tonight there are 8 items on the agenda this evening under the technology, covering services ranging from internet connectivity, items needed for the construction of Performing Arts Center. We also reviewed plans to upgrade our interior bus cameras, which will be done at no upfront cost to the school district. Mr. Simcox provided progress updates on our 3 construction projects and discussion potential large change orders to further stabilize the soils at Lincoln Park. Mr. Schlossman also reviewed the projected budget and the cost. I'm happy to report that we should receive our occupancy permit for the Performing Arts Center in mid-March. Hold on 1 second. The final phase of the construction was also reviewed. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties here. Which also includes a comprehensive renovation of the old music wing of the high school, including the creation of a black box theater. The scope of the work also includes substantial HVAC and mechanical work at 3 of our elementary schools. Lastly on the agenda this evening is a proposal for the administrative team to pursue a competitive grant to support HVAC work at the Cornwall Terrace Elementary School. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Hart. This says Mr. McCray for Finance Committee, but he is traveling. Mr. McCray, do you have the Finance Committee report?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, sir.
The Finance Committee held a joint meeting with the Operations Committee last Thursday, February 12th. We reviewed the fiscal year-to-date December 2025 financial summaries, which included the general fund. General fund revenues are projected to be slightly higher than budget by approximately $0.2 million. Net expense variances favorable to budget by approximately $1.5 million due to staffing vacancies. We anticipate not needing budgetary reserve at this time for an overall projected deficit and use of fund balance of $4.2 million versus the budgeted $8.9 million. So that's good news. Food Services Fund, the district is serving an average of 2,214 breakfast meals per day and 3,236 lunch meals per day. Although less meals per day are being served compared to the prior year due to the overall decreased student population, the overall meal participation as a percentage of total student population is consistent with the prior year. Unpaid meal totals to date exceeds that of the prior year by 163%. Child Care Fund pre-K counts continues to serve 90 children with the state grant funding, and tuition-based early learning is serving an average of 25 children year-to-date, approximately 34% less than budgeted. For the 26-27 budget preparation, we reviewed a preliminary version of the 26-27 general fund budget totaling $157.7 million, excluding budgetary reserve, or a 3.9% increase over the current year. This preliminary version includes 100% of the governor's basic education funding subsidy, the special education fund subsidy, and the ready-to-learn funding proposals, and a millage increase slightly below the Act 1 index, as well as usage of fund balance. The biggest challenge is the loss of taxable real estate due to a third year of over 200 assessment appeals with the declining common level ratio, resulting in another $24 million decline in taxable real estate base this year, and not enough assessment growth to offset it. This is the equivalent of over $0.8 million of revenue loss alone. Much work is left to be done in the budget preparation process, and updates will be provided to the school board as we progress. Other business that we discuss, the donors of the Kistner Scholarship Fund have asked for it to be closed out, so that will appear on our agenda tonight to vote on. This fund has been part of the Wilson Education Foundation for a number of years for educational purposes. Online tax payment processor search is going on. The district is currently interviewing vendors to process online electronic real estate and per capita tax payments, as our current vendor, Magic Reitner, was brought out and is no longer in the tax payment processing business as of April 2026. So that's the end of our report.
Thank you, Mr. McCree. Mrs. Casper, do you have a Human Resource Committee report?
Yes, thank you, President Denny. The Human Resources Committee met on this past Wednesday, February 11th. We received an update on the professional retirements at the end of this school year. In order to be eligible for retirement incentives, employees must have submitted their intent to retire by February 1st. We also reviewed the January meeting of the Extracurricular Salary Committee, which I sat on for the first time this year, which is really a huge undertaking on the part of all of the folks on that committee. At our March meeting, the Human Resources Committee will be examining the proposals more in depth alongside with the administration's recommendations. Additionally, Mr. Bender shared the hiring timeline for the 26-27 school year, including the many job fairs that administrators will be attending. The committee also met in an executive session to discuss some personnel matters, and tonight we'll be voting on not a new position, but a change in position, transportation bus aid trainer. And we'll be approving the 2 retirees, which will be in Dr. Trickett's report. That's all mine.
Thank you, Mrs. Casper. Mr. Schneider, do you have a Student Experiences Committee report?
I do, thank you. Excuse me, we met last Wednesday and discussed a number of topics, including both online and in-person dates for kindergarten registration. We discussed additional cameras and possible grant money for those cameras for the campuses, particularly the high school campus. The mandated Safe to Say training will occur this month for grades 6 to 12. Under special education, we discussed the ESY, or Extended New Year, and we discussed mental health nights for parents. As you can see, we had a pretty full agenda. We also discussed replacing the AED pads and batteries because they are reaching their end of life. We had an update from the pool in the aquatics program. Both the girls and boys were swimming and diving champions, and shout out to them, and especially to our individual swimmers and divers who are moving on to the next level. We also had one swimmer, Kai Boyer, who set a new pool and Burke's record in the 100 fly. I saw that. It was pretty impressive. So a total of 7 gold medals for the girls, 5 for the boys. We also had updates on clubs and organizations, current ones that are not athletic and non-athletic. And then we discussed future clubs and some stuff with Minithon for extracurricular stuff. And then we discussed some contract renewal questions, as well as some contract renewal questions. Sorry, I was looking at something. And that's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Schneider. Is there room on the wall, the natatorium, for a new record? It's pretty full up there.
It will be. I don't know if it is yet.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Troutman, do you have a public relations report?
Well, good evening, everyone. First, I just wanted to say you've probably noticed that we've got some artwork kind of going on here in this room. We're proud to share that this work will feature our Wilson High School AP Art and Design students as part of the annual Wilson High School AP Art and Design exhibition, which is in partnership with the Grandview Gallery. So under the guidance of their art teacher, Mr. Graber, students participate in a rigorous portfolio-based course that helps them develop their individual talents while preparing them for future study and careers in the arts. This exhibit represents a full year of creativity, dedication, and artistic growth by our student artists who are incredibly, incredibly talented. So an opening reception for this new exhibit will be held on this Saturday, February 21st from 1 to 4 p.m. right here in this room. We certainly invite the board and the community to attend and celebrate their incredible work. We already mentioned that online kindergarten registration is going to be opening for the 26-27 school year on March 2nd, and we will be promoting kindergarten registration through all of our communications channels. And then I just wanted to provide, I try to provide maybe twice a year an update on social media and sort of how we're doing from a growth perspective. So we're continuing to see steady growth and engagement across our social media platforms. The reporting period that we looked at was November 1st through January 31st of this year. Through that time frame, our Facebook audience grew to 11,194 followers, which is a 3.1% increase, while Instagram increased to 4,990 followers, which is a 7.6% increase. Our engagement also remains strong with 185,412 interactions on Facebook and 27,382 interactions on Instagram. Facebook continues to reach a primarily parent and community audience, ages 35 to 44, while Instagram is most effective with our students and young adults, ages 18 to 24. which isn't surprising. Student-centered content continues to drive our strongest engagement. I always find this interesting. The top Facebook post during this time period celebrated the Wilson Girls Water Polo Team State Championship, while our top Instagram post highlighted the Wilson Gives Back program, which was our district-wide service project. Overall, these results demonstrate continued progress towards our district communications goals by expanding our reach, increasing engagement, and strengthening connections with our students, families, and our community. So I would like to, and we would like to publicly thank Sam Weitzel, who's our digital media coordinator, and our amazing student interns, Kayla Brown and Sarah Lewis, for their leadership in ensuring that social media presence continues to allow our district to celebrate our students, staff, and community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Troutman. Do we have any additional reports?
I just have a few updates to share from the Wilson Education Foundation. So as I mentioned at the last board meeting, the Wilson Education Foundation has their Celebrating the Arts at Wilson event at the Berkshire Country Club on March 13th at 6 p.m. Tickets are still available, so make sure to get them while you can, and more information is on the website. This event will also honor the inaugural first ever Visual and Performing Arts Hall of Fame 2026 inductees, which have been announced. So it would be Robert Chappell and Frank Ferraro Sr., so they will be recognized at this special event. And then the foundation is also kicking off its campaign for sponsoring auditorium seats in the new Performing Arts Center at $200 per seat. So I have more information here from Molly if anyone is interested. And then last but not least, the foundation is also looking for donations to include in the silent auction at the March 13th event. So any and all creations are welcome. Painting, sketches, pottery, wood design, floral arrangements are just some examples. And email Molly if you're interested. So if you have a special skill, reach out to Molly. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mrs. Royer. Any other reports? It's been a busy month. These meetings would be about 6 hours long if all of this didn't occur in between our meetings. So thank you all for attending those. One of the things that was done this month for the first time was a joint operations and finance meeting, which I thought was just it just made sense because of all of the crossovers. And I thought that Mrs. Schlossman and Mr. Simcox did a great job of taking what could have also been a 6-hour meeting and making it an hour and a half. So thank you for that. Mr. Moravich, do you have anything?
I do not.
Okay, Superintendent's report, Dr. Trickett.
Thank you, President Denny. Tonight, we'd like to celebrate the retirement of two additional teammates, Christine Lebo, who's been a food service worker for us for 28 years, and also Mrs. Robin Yo, who is a secretarial aide at West Middle School. She's been in that role for 21 years. Additionally, we have 4 end-of-service announcements here. You will see a couple familiar names, including Dr. Andes, who has been working for us as a day-to-day sub and supporting us in a couple of other roles. Also, congratulations to the other folks that are there, and I wish them the best in their next stage of their careers. Additionally, we have some additional substitutes, some support staff members who have some change in status, as well as a large attachment under the extracurricular section, which details out payments for services. That spreadsheet comes before the board a few times a year, and it identifies like ticket sellers, people who are announcers or score clock keepers, and it basically just allows us to pay them for the services that they provide. So the spreadsheet attached kind of details out their service and how much they're paid for each one of those events. That's my report.
Thank you, Dr. Trickett. Looking for a motion to approve superintendent items number 4.1 to 4.6.
So moved.
Mr. Schneider, thank you. And Mr. McCree, I'll take you for the second if that's okay. Is there any discussion? Okay, I know there's no hires on here, but I know we're about to get into a lot of hires, Dr. Trickett and Mr. Bender. So thank you in advance for the hard work, the marathon you're about to embark on. Any other discussion? We'll do roll call, please.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. McCree?
Yes.
Mrs. Royer?
Yes.
Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mrs. Casper?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Denny?
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no.
Thank you. Motion carries. Item 5.1, looking for a motion to approve 2 field trips, one for 100 West Middle School students to travel to New York on March 25th to see The Lion King, and one for 80 Southern Middle School students to travel to New York to see Death Becomes Her, also on March 25th.
Cocker, so moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Cocker. Do we have a second? Mr. McCree? Any discussion? This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 6.1, looking for a motion to accept with gratitude a check for $1,000 from Gary Collar to be applied equally to the 5 elementary library budgets, to be used at the discretion of the librarians.
Cocker, so moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Cocker. Are you the second, Dr. Kennedy? Any discussion? Mr. Schneider?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank him again for his continued service to this community. He served as a board member, and he just continues to personify everything we want Wilson to be. And so just to extend a thank you again, as I will continue to do every year, to him for everything he does for the district.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Schneider, and thank you, Mr. Collar, for your report. I didn't realize he was on the school board, but I had been told that he has given this donation for years and years and years.
Yeah, I believe he was like a 20-year plus school board member, if memory serves me correctly.
Well, that's wonderful. Hopefully he'll come to The Little Mermaid to see the opening. Cinderella, I'm sorry, you're right. We did The Little Mermaid already. Cinderella, thank you. Okay, this is a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7.1, looking for a motion to approve the job description as enclosed.
Casper?
Thank you, Mrs. Casper. Do we have a second? Thank you, Mrs. Royer. Any discussion? This is a roll call vote.
Mr. McCree?
Yes.
Mrs. Royer?
Yes.
Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mrs. Casper?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mrs. Denny?
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no.
Thank you. Motion carries. Item 8.1, request permission to contract with Royer Grieve School for the Blind for 2025-26 for 1 special education student, pending solicitor review and approval. Item 8.2, request approval of the AED grant resolution for the Wilson School District as presented. Looking for a motion to approve student service items numbers 8.1 and 8.2.
Schneider, so moved.
Thank you, Mr. Schneider. Mr. McCree, are you a second? Any discussion? No. These are the AEDs that were referred to in the earlier report. This is a roll call.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mrs. Casper?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. McCree?
Yes.
Mrs. Royer?
Yes.
Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Mrs. Denny?
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we got a bunch here. 9.1, request approval of a contract amendment with the Chester County Intermediate Unit 24 for data backup services as attached. Item 9.2, request permission to enter into an agreement with the Berks County Intermediate Unit to provide regional-wide area network connection and internet for a 5-year term as attached. Item 9.3, request approval of a 120-month contract with First Light for dark fiber to connect the operations building in Lincoln Park Elementary to the district network as attached. Item 9.4, request approval to purchase new line smart TVs and Chromebox for the Performing Arts Center lobby and dressing rooms using construction funds as attached. Item 9.5, request approval for Reading Elevator to install a cellular dialer for the High School Performing Arts Center wheelchair lift using construction funds as attached. Item 9.6, request approval to pay an additional $851.98 to TWG Security to install door access control on a door at Whitfield using capital funds. Looking for a motion to approve technology items 9.1 to 9.6. And thank you, Dr. Kennedy. And we have a second. Thank you, Mrs. Cocker. This is a roll call. Oh, I'm sorry, any discussion? Again, most of this was discussed in the report earlier. This is a roll call.
Mr. Schneider,
Yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mrs. Casper,
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy,
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker,
Yes.
Mr. McCree,
Yes.
Mrs. Royer,
Yes.
Mrs. Denny.
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no.
Thank you, motion carries. Item 10.1, request approval of the Lincoln Park Elementary School NPDES minor modification for the Waterline extension in the amount of $143.50 payable to the BCCD. Request approval, 10.2, request approval of a school facilities improvement grant resolution as presented. Looking for a motion to approve operation items number 10.1 and 10.2. Thank you, Mr. McCree. Do we have a second? Mrs. Cocker, any discussion? This is a roll call.
Mrs. Casper,
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy,
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker,
Yes.
Mr. McCree,
Yes.
Mrs. Royer,
Yes.
Mr. Schneider,
Yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mrs. Denny.
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no.
Motion carries. Item 11.1, request to approve the payment of bills as presented. Looking for a motion to approve finance item number 11.1. Thank you, Mr. McCree. Do we have a second? Mrs. Cocker, any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Royer,
Yes.
Mr. Schneider,
Yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mrs. Casper,
Abstain.
Dr. Kennedy,
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker,
Yes.
Mr. McCree,
Yes.
Mrs. Denny.
Yes.
7 yes, 1 abstain.
Thank you. Motion carries. Item 11.3, request to approve the financial reports as attached. Item 11.4, request approval of the budget transfers dating January 1st, 2026 through February 5th, 2026 as attached. 11.5, request approval of an agreement to close the Kistner Scholarship Fund and distribute the funds to the Wilson Education Foundation to be used as directed. Item 11.6, request approval of the tax collector agreements for Wyomissing Borough, Lower Heidelberg Township, and Township of Spring as attached, and approval of the district collecting the school tax directly for properties located in the borough of Sinking Spring due to the absence of an elected tax collector. I'm looking for a motion to approve finance items number 11.3 through 11.6. Thank you, Mr. McCree. Do we have a second? Mrs. Cocker, any discussion? This is a roll call.
Mrs. Cocker,
Yes.
Mr. McCree,
Yes.
Mrs. Royer,
Yes.
Mr. Schneider,
Yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mrs. Casper.
Yes.
Mrs. Casper, I believe you need to abstain from this one also.
Abstain. Sorry.
Dr. Kennedy
Yes.
and Mrs. Denny.
Yes.
7 yes, 1 abstain.
Thank you. Motion carries. Item 12.1, request approval of 2026-2027 Pennsylvania State University Wilson School District dual enrollment agreement pending solicitor review and approval. Looking for a motion to approve item 12.1. Thank you, Dr. Kennedy. Do we have a second?
Schneider.
Thank you, Mr. Schneider. Any discussion? I just want to say for anybody who doesn't have students yet in the high school, that the number of dual enrollment classes that Wilson offers is really impressive, and the options that it gives our students, because many of these classes are both AP and dual enrollment, and so it gives 2 ways for our students to get college credits and just to excel. And the teachers we have teaching these programs are exceptional. So anytime I see these on the agenda, I'm always glad to see that we're looking at doing more and more of these for our students. And so thank you especially to our Teaching and Learning Committee for making this possible. This is a roll call.
Mr. Schneider,
Yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mrs. Casper,
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy,
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker,
Yes.
Mr. McCree,
Yes.
Mrs. Royer,
Yes.
Mrs. Denny.
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no.
Thank you. Motion carries. Looking for a motion to approve the 2026-2027 preschool and childcare rates for the Berkshire Heights Early Learning Center as attached. Thank you, Dr. Kennedy. Do we have a second? Mr. Snyder? Any discussion? This is a roll call.
Mrs. Casper,
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy,
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker,
Yes.
Mr. McCree,
Yes.
Mrs. Royer,
Yes.
Mr. Schneider,
Yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mrs. Denny.
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no.
Motion carries. Item 14.1, request approval of a contract for the Wilson High School Minithon event on February 27, 2026, with Bounce House Rentals of Lancaster LLC for the rental of an inflatable attraction as attached. Item 14.2, request permission to create a DVSAA, Domestic and Sexual Violence Action and Awareness Activity Account in the High School Activities Fund. 14.3, request permission to create a Future Leaders of Wilson High School Club. Looking for a motion to approve extracurricular items 14.1 to 14.3.
Schneider, so moved.
Thank you, Mr. Schneider. Do we have a second?
Cocker.
Mrs. Cocker, I'm promoting you there. Any discussion? This is a roll call.
Mr. McCree,
Yes.
Mrs. Royer,
Yes.
Mr. Schneider,
Yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mrs. Casper,
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy,
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker,
Yes.
Mrs. Denny.
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no.
Motion carries. Item 15.1, we have first reading of policies number 200, 202, and 254. Item 16.1, we have an enrollment report. Enrollment as of February 12, 2026 is 6,348 students, which is an increase of 19 from the previous report on January 8, 2026. Mrs. Burkholder, do we have any public participation on non-agenda items?
No, we do not.
Thank you. Do we have any other business?
Mrs.
Oh,
Denny?
sorry. Yes.
Yes, so I would like to propose to the board, or recommend or suggest, that we revisit policy 221, dress and grooming. It was originally adopted in 1995 when I was a middle school / junior high student, and then we revised it in 2018, but as time goes, that was already 8 years ago. And I believe that the policy, as we've reworded it, gives the purview and the decision-making to the building principal on what kind of dress coding would be enforced, what kind of expectations in, what constitutes a violation, and that's, the onus is on the principal, which I think makes sense because it's their building. I would, however, like to at least open discussion to our board. And I know this was probably be handled in our Student Experience Committee meeting, which I was unfortunately unable to attend the last one we just had due to holding parent-teacher conferences at the same time. I had to make a decision. Obviously, that came first. And the next meeting is until April. So I figured I would at least present the concept to the board. And the current structure for the high school, I think, has been working really well. Dr. Weber met with high school students at the time when the policy was changed to have the perspective and kind of get a real feel for how the previous policy had affected students directly and what they would like to see changed. I think that was a great structure, and it took into consideration the high school students' perspectives. I would like to see the same thing happen in the middle school. Dress code policies overwhelmingly affect young girls, and it is not fair that middle school students who are already very self-conscious, and that's one of their top concerns is their appearance and how other people perceive them, to be then addressed by adults about their physical appearance and maybe what they're wearing, or how the adults perceive what they're wearing. And I would like just to bring that up as a point of discussion, and possibly take it to the Student Experience Committee meeting, unless, the board decides to address the policy before that. But I would just like to bring that to our attention. If you want to. It's just a
I was
point.
just going to say, yeah, we can definitely discuss it. I think the committee meeting is the appropriate place to start the conversation, so I will ask Dr. Hoffert to put that on the agenda for the next one.
Dr. Kennedy, did you have additional comments?
No, I'm not on the committee, but I think the less we police little girls' bodies, the better, and we should not be putting grown men in charge of policing little girls' bodies. As a mom of a middle schooler, this is a hot topic in our house, so I appreciate you bringing that up. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Cocker. I believe there's plenty of studies to show that it is utilized disproportionately against women of color just due to body shape. So that's a good thing to bring up to be discussed. Any additional business? I would like to mention, I don't know if it's a day or it's a week. It probably should be a month, but this week there was at least a day that was School Resource Officer Appreciation Day. And we, of course, have Officer Johnson here. And our school is fortunate to have 3 exceptional school resource officers. And I was by the high school today, and I saw Officer Johnson in there, and he's talking to the students, and he's talking to the teachers. And the idea behind school resource officers is to break down barriers and perceptions with law enforcement, and to build relationships, because the best way to get through any type of barrier or prejudice is to know people, and to get to know people as human beings. And I know that the students at the high school know Officer Johnson. I know the middle school students know Officer Kaiser, and I'm sorry I'm forgetting, Officer Glass, thank you. And so I'm very thankful for their role in our community and what they do with the students, so thank you. Did you have something, Mr., or you were just excited to? One more thing before we break out the meeting. I had talked about Black History Month at the last meeting and hadn't planned to say anything today. However, there have been a number of significant deaths within our larger community this month. It seems like every day there's another person who's very well known, and today Jesse Jackson, his death was announced. And I wanted to talk about it because I was very fortunate to meet Jesse Jackson many, many times when I lived, not many, many times, but for famous people, I probably met him the most of any famous person that I had ever met. And the reason was, when I was in the early 90s, my friend and I went from college to graduate school in Pitt, and then we moved to Washington, D.C. So we were these young, idealistic, largely sheltered young women in Washington, D.C. She got a job with the government, and I was there to complete my master's degree. And I had the privilege of getting a staff position temporarily in the White House, and through that I got a position, after that ended, with a startup organization that was working to improve life for children in D.C. Because to put it in context, at this point, D.C. was a really hot mess. The government was the D.C. government was very corrupt. There was a trash problem, there was a rat problem. It was a mess. And this organization was working because the crack epidemic had started up, and they were looking at ways to address that. And one of the things that I was tasked with doing was going to a weekly meeting, though I didn't go every week, at Shiloh Baptist Church in the Northwest. And this meeting was run by Jesse Jackson. And when I went to this, I had this perception of who he was going to be because of all I had learned in my college and graduate program about him. You know, I kind of thought he'd be surrounded by, I don't know, protection and stuff. But it was just in this church building. It was very unassuming. They brought together people from the community to work to find solutions in D.C. It dealt with D.C. issues like statehood. It dealt with racial issues and social justice issues. And there were people from Congress that would come. I sat at a table with a guy named Al, who was very outgoing. It wasn't until 10 years later I learned it was Reverend Al Sharpton. Like, there was a whole group of people that would come to these meetings. And so I went to form community relationships. And these meetings were, I mean, this was a man who watched Dr. King get shot and walked across the bridge in Selma where people were almost killed. And he could have come from a very bitter place. And I can't tell you now what he spoke about because it was 30 years ago. But when I left those meetings, I always left feeling hope, you know, that our country, and this was the 90s, but we were finally coming out of the civil rights movement. We were coming out of this terrible place and looking at a way to form bonds and build a community in DC. And it was a diverse there were people of different races, of different religions. I was definitely in a minority, but I wasn't the only one there. I was taken, the woman that I worked with was Jewish, and this was in a Baptist church. Like, it was really a multicultural get-together, and I left feeling hope and positiveness. And I continued until I went into law school, and then once I started law school, there was just no time for 8 a.m. meetings anymore. So that part of my life kind of fell off, but I probably attended about 12 to 15 of these meetings. And I bring it up because I think one of the things that is really missing in our world right now is hope. It is out of our national political lexicon. You know, it's very easy to look at all the things that are bad and wrong. And for a man that came from what he came for to be saying, because the message was, we are all part of the problem, we are all part of the solution, and every one of you can play a role in making our world better. And I really took that to heart in terms of my professional career, and because of him and through connections I made there, my friends and I started doing a reading program at low-income housing in an extremely poor part of DC. And I ended up working at a border baby home, helping because crack babies were being left in the hospital at huge numbers. And there was this whole thing where I really felt that in my 20s I could make a difference in the world. I'm no longer in my 20s, and I'm not as idealistic, but that hope is still there. And so one of the reasons why I think in Black History Month it is so important to teach these stories is because it's not about looking at the past and the blame, it's about working together to find solutions. And so I mourn his passing today. I'm appreciative for the role he had in my life. And I am thankful for our world that we had people who could take tragedies like assassinations and beatings and turn it into something positive and beyond them. So I just wanted to share that story. Thank you.
Schneider, so moved.
Thank you, Mr. Schneider.